What is up, everybody? Let me make sure we're actually live here. Let me make sure we're live. We appear to be live. But are we live? Hello, YouTube. Work. YouTube is live. Wonderful. Is Twitch live? I have no actual idea. Twitch, hello? Hello, Twitch? Yes, Twitch is live. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? I wrapped up with work a little early today, and I felt like actually going ahead and poking at something and doing a random surprise midweek stream with absolutely no plan at all. I'm going to play around with Paragon. Full disclosure, if you somehow are newer to the channel and you haven't seen the 30 Days series where I play classes without any guides, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not the best at making builds. This is not a high-level mathematical investigation into this at all. This is going to be straight vibes for, I don't know how long, maybe an hour or two. So I literally have not looked at anything yet. I just showed up here. I will say I'm going to go do Titanic Voyage in a minute, even though I'm not actually, do I have waypoints unlocked? I can't even find out. We'll find out in a minute. But specifically, I kind of want us to fail on Titanic Voyage on that first boss a little bit, because this skill right here, I want to put it to the test. We will never yield. Your health cannot be reduced below 0 for a short period of time. After this effect ends, gain barrier proportionate to your missing health. Certain boss skills may bypass the effect of the skill. Okay, so certain boss skills. What certain boss skills? What better one to test than Titanic Voyage? Let's go, right? All right, so the Paragon stuff seems kind of interesting so far. You know, I like the command and then the echo effect. Seems pretty interesting. Probably just gonna play around with like straight these right now, and then adjust on the fly depending on how long we play, just to sort of test things out. I think it's also interesting they load up staff automatically as Paragon. And they sort of, I guess, have this recommended build for Paragon here. Like we've got Soldier's Comfort, Empower Allies, Martial Cadence, you know, we've got Discipline and Tactics, which, you know, can make some pretty solid sense. Burst skills, interesting, yeah. Yeah, reduced charge on burst skills would seem pretty solid. Now let's actually look at some of the Paragon stuff. So the first thing is gaining access to chance and command skills. Gain motivation by using a chant or by using a burst skill while a refrain is active. Okay, so the refrain is the activation. It's the post-activation effect. So you activate it and then there's a refrain that's going. Okay. So burst skill during refrain equal good. We like that. All right. Call to action. Gain motivation when you enter combat. If no refrains are active, automatically activate the refrain of chant action. Or refrain chant of action, which is continue to apply boons to allies while removing motivation every interval. Interesting. Effect lasts until you run out of motivation stacks or another chant is activated. Okay, so it kind of kickstarts boons. Increased healing power and concentration. Gain additional healing power and concentration when a refrain is active. Am I tripping, or is 60 increased concentration and 60 increased healing power really low? Like, am I tripping with that? Am I tripping? I guess maybe not. That feels low, but sure. And then gain increased movement speed. Movement impairing conditions have reduced effectiveness on. Okay, yeah, not really a PvE thing, but could be really good in PvP, depending on how the overall Paragon skill set works out in PvP anyway. And then we get gain motivation when you use your 4th or 5th weapon skills. Okay, so that's cool. Using a chant reduces the recharge of your other chants by a set amount. Okay, so cool. And then heal yourself and gain adrenaline for each point of motivation spent. That could be really dope, especially for PvP. I feel like command echoes can trigger a second time. Oh, I like the idea of that as well. But I feel like just blind going into this, using a chant, reducing the recharge of other chants is probably pretty good. It's going to depend a lot on motivation generation overall, I think. I'm going to go ahead and do call to action and brisk pacing so far. And then strike and condition damage dealt to you is reduced for each point of motivation you have. Okay, cool. Boons to allies when transitioning to a different refrain. Alacrity. Okay. It doesn't look like we have quickness really at all. So we are... Paragon is a lack only, which is interesting because we have a lack Bladesworn, we have quickness Zerker. So we have a lack... I feel like if there was either of them, I guess alacrity would be more preferable for me coming off of just being on Bladesworn. But... And refrains grant bonus effects to you while they're active. Okay, plus 20% damage and condition damage, lower incoming damage, and more movement speed. Okay. Oh, that's for specific ones, though. Okay, got it. And then the refrain effects of chance are stronger. Motivation costs of refrains are reduced, but cannot be reduced below 1. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to test out the chant of action. Actually, let me see. What does that do? Oh, it doesn't do anything in particular. Okay. I'm going to test out strengthening stanzas because it seems like overall the kit being a little bit more tuned to benefiting allies. Titanic Voyage is starting. I need to go. I was going to play around with the skills in the aerodrome. But I guess not. We'll just go straight to actually playing the game. Man, my fashion is horrible too. I really hope I have these waypoints. I feel like they're all unlocked. Yeah. Cool. Me and my favorite char, Snargle Fargle, about to go test some stuff out. Great. I'm cool. Thank you for the Baba Nisos map completion. I really appreciate that. Man, my computer does not like Baba Nisos while streaming specifically. We're going auto detect and then limit is on lowest. Oh, cool. I didn't even miss the boss that I wanted to test this out on. If we miss a break bar, I'm not going to intentionally miss a break bar. I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. But if we miss a break bar, I'm saving We Will Never Yield specifically for making sure. I want to see if this works on this boss. I feel like out of all the bosses, this was probably the one they would specifically make sure it works on. Okay, so heal yourself and allies in an area. I did not have time to look at anything, so we're going to be reading while we throw spears. So F1 is still my burst skill. F2 is going to be Might and Fury, which is beautiful. F3 is going to be Barrier and Healing. Heal and Barrier, okay. That's interesting. It says grant barriers to allies in an area around you on the text, but it says 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 motivation, it only heals. What? And then Chant of Freedom breaks stuns from allies around you. 7 to 10 is motivation, is stability. So that is the most useful out of all of those. Here we go. Oh, I have staff on. Whoops. Okay. And then this is vulnerability, so we're going to do that. And then, what is that? That's breaks. That's my stun break. And then let's go ahead and hit that for... Cool. Cool. Motivation is... Do I have anything up? I don't think I did. I'm not... Oh, the adrenaline bar is just looking weird to me. Okay, so adrenaline and motivation are entirely separate. I was looking at the number and the I need to get spirit. Hello. I was looking at the number and the bar and getting very confused as far as what was going on. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay. And I think we want to keep... I don't think we want to stack my two... shouts at all. Because, okay, here we go. If we miss this... we're going to miss it. Let's see if it works. Nope, doesn't work. Well done, ArenaNet. Well done. But yeah, so if I recall correctly... oh, that's why my motivation was going down. I forgot I did call to action. So the refrain of chant action... the refrain of action... the refrain of chant of action. That's a mouthful. That kills me. Okay. Where was the... pretty sure... I could have sworn there was something... okay, whatever. I could have sworn there was something about, that's horrible, holy, wow, okay. I could have sworn there was something that I read about the, using a burst skill, and I did not see it on a quick run through there, but I'm gonna pay attention to that.
Never give up.
Never give up, guys.
Find their weakness.
Yo, this is the most I've heard my char talk, like, in my entire Guild Wars 2 career. I'm kind of vibing with it. I just realized I forgot to use my emp. I don't think that would have made the difference, but I'm so sorry, everybody. We're gonna hit that. Okay, thank you, really appreciate that. That's very cool, very cool. Okay, and then let me try and get up, man. I don't love, first of all, the placement of the motivation kind of overlapping with my emp thing there, right? Second thing I don't love is I wish the colors would stay to be more quickly indicative of where we're at in the motivation. That's probably a PEBCAC error. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. But that's just, like I said, we're straight vibes here, guys. Okay. I believe that's CC, that's CC, that's CC. I'm pretty sure I'm out of CC, everybody. I've done my duty. Godspeed.
Find their weakness.
So, and then the interesting thing is that...
There's nothing to fear.
I'm curious. Okay. I'm going to pay attention to the chant of action because I'm curious if you can just keep reusing the same chant then. It seems like you can, as long as you keep your motivation up. Okay, you can. So it's kind of like definitely giving me big Pally Aura vibes overall, like, except a little bit more active, you know? A lot more active. It's actually nothing like Pally Auras now that I really think about it, but it's fine. The point is that we can sort of, you know, hey, we really need more survivability right now. Hey, we really need more DPS right now, you know. We're getting shellacked here. My rotation is god-awful right now, by the way. Trust me, I'm fully aware.
Brace yourselves.
For the love of all that is holy.
Find their weakness.
It's also interesting, we only have access to level 1 burst skill again here, I'm noticing. So that's really interesting. So that's going to be basically like, hey, let's make sure we're pumping that out literally every millisecond that we can, right? I'm also realizing that the motivation... Okay, I'm understanding a little bit better now. You don't expend any motivation to utilize the chant. It's just keeping it up. Okay. Uh-huh. Very cool.
Find their weakness. You won't escape.
That very much is a user error on my end then.
That's the stuff.
So we need to be prioritizing...
Quiet. This will end quickly.
Whoops.
Never surrender.
We need to be prioritizing the use of 4 and 5 skills for sure.
Aggression. Find their weakness.
I do find it interesting that we went... they went level 1 burst skills only with this. Again, I do find that interesting. Great, we're going to have a couple minutes to actually read through some things, so... Let me find where that... Oh, it was right there. Gain motivation by using a chant or by using a burst skill while a refrain is active. Okay, yeah, that's where it was. So you get motivation by using the burst skill while a refrain is active. And... yeah, that's interesting. You also gain motivation by doing a chant. Okay, that's counterintuitive. I know I literally read that at the start of the stream, but that is a little counterintuitive, so, you know. Interesting stuff. I like the stun break. I mean, I do like all of these. I mean, like, arguably, We Will Never Yield is probably the least the least necessary of all of these, I would say. They all seem like they're probably pretty solid options to take overall. I mean, Brace Yourselves isn't, like, incredible. But... so why did you default me to a jackal? I never use jackals. So we need to start it by using...
Faster. Find their weakness.
Another thing I didn't notice. Okay. Now I see why you can only use... now I see. I was also not noticing because I was very overwhelmed trying to, you know, since I didn't spend time on a golem here. You can't disable a chant. That's so interesting to me. That is so interesting to me that you cannot disable a chant. It just has to run out. Anyway. Yeah, why can't I answer, actually? Why didn't it? Okay, whatever. Where are my rubbles? Why is this, like, not working today? I had this problem the last time I did it, too. You're supposed to be able to just pull back, but the chain just keeps breaking for me. Normally it slows you down when it starts, actually applying the damage effect. Okay, can you guys stop? Thank you.
Forge the way.
Yeah, so now that I see the chants are taking... the chants are taking adrenaline as well, now I understand why we're doing level 1 burst skills only. It's a really interesting concept that we're balancing both adrenaline and motivation. The motivation balance doesn't feel overall too difficult now that I'm understanding a bit more about it, right? We're mostly looking at like, hey, let's make sure we're using our 4 and 5 skills, do some weapon swapping, you're going to be okay, right? And, you know, maybe don't get stunned like that. Love this. Really love this. You know, I know a lot of people don't love the idea of Paragon. Like, I've heard a lot of warrior mains have beef with the way Paragon was presented in the live stream and everything. I haven't been keeping up with all of this stuff very well at all. Curious how people feel about it now. Curious what the overall thoughts of the motivation balance system with the adrenaline is. I feel like I'm never really starving for adrenaline, though. This is a pretty solid initial setup they gave us here. We're getting there. We're getting there. You guys good? Nope, we're not good. Okay. We are, in fact, not good. That was really fun. Hey, cool. We got the membrane. We love to see it. Dang. The second I threw my harpoon at it. Not saying that I did all of that damage to that wall, but, I mean, come on. It broke the second I threw the harpoon, so kind of seems like I did that. Yeah, I really feel like that elite skill could be super helpful in a lot of situations. It's definitely one of those where I feel like it's a bit less impactful in open world PvE, right? I mean, in general, there's a lot less situations where something like that would come up. But like, depending on what it ignores and everything, I feel like that could be huge on some raid encounters. We're just gonna keep. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna keep slamming. We're just gonna keep going back and forth on these. Remember to use your 4 and 5. Remember to use your 4 and 5. Gonna go barrier. We're gonna go macrophage. Do those have different cooldowns? 7 seconds, 13 seconds, 21. Okay, yeah, they do very much have different cooldowns. Whoa, hey guys. Let's not and say we didn't. I thought that line was on me too because of that guy happened to go the exact same directions I kept going.
Find their weakness.
Let's throw out a chant of healing here. Or a command of healing, we shall return.
Find their weakness.
I love this song. This song is so good. I've said that like every time I've run this thing on stream. I say it even when I don't run it on stream.
March on. Refreshing.
It certainly doesn't seem to be the easiest to keep that around 10. Above 7 seems to get a little bit more difficult when you start getting into that that 7. There's not really anybody over here, is there? Where did everybody go? Are we over here? Not really. Where the heck is everybody? Alright, we'll try to help this guy out. There's like one guy, but we'll try to help him out. Although it could just not be loading a lot of people here. Yeah, you know what? I should have started with the first chant and then gone into the healing chant in this situation.
Incoming. We will never yield.
Okay, well, we're testing out our elite here. I think it ran out, so let's yeah, we're gonna go find a different one. That is not working. Perfect timing. Super glad I transitioned. So we're gonna go with that. Then we're gonna go healing. One thing I didn't look at is the range. Ooh, 360 radius. Okay. Oh, that's on me. That's 100% on me. Yep. Yeah, 360 radius is not a big radius, so definitely big stack required. I would love to see that radius go up, honestly.
All together. Find their weakness. Getting up for great justice. Ready for it.
What did I... I'm so distracted by looking at my stat bar, or my ability bar. I feel like a lot of people probably are.
I'll remember this. Find them. Brace yourselves. Gaining adrenaline.
Can I... Okay. I was gonna say, can I actually get into combat? Alright, where's anybody going? I see a couple people going this way. Let's go this way.
Never give up. Brace yourselves. March on.
What's up, Brayden? Don't worry, man. I also totally know what's happening. Totally know what's happening. I definitely am not lost and confused running an elite spec that I've learned nothing about.
Make them bleed.
How you doing, man? You have a good day at work, man?
Brace yourselves.
Yeah, so motivation just seems... Maybe I need to be using slightly more burst skills, but... Seems difficult to keep up. All good. That's good, man. That's good. We love a good day. We love a good day on hump day. This guy is dead as hell. What's up, man? Let's go, please. Race faster.
Find their weakness.
I hate this angle on this one. It's so disorienting.
Brace yourselves. Incoming. Forge the way.
Yeah, I got you.
Ready for action. We shall return.
Big heals. I just realized I don't think I have like any healing on my gear.
Surrender.
That's fine though. I mean, we're in open world PvE. Wow, that was a lot of stuns in a row. Thanks. Appreciate that, guys.
Find their weakness.
There's nobody else here, is there? No, there's literally nobody else here. I'm never gonna kill those things. Not happening. We're gonna move on to the last nodule and pretend we didn't see anything. Start off with some big deeps. Hit that. Had so many AoEs.
Brace yourselves. The end is near.
I'm really hoping Visions of Eternity has a little bit less of these condition bubbles and everything. Sounds good, Raiden. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hope you have a good food.
Endurance drained.
Man, food sounds good too. We need to go shopping, so I have like no food in the house right now, actually.
Find them and brace yourselves. March on. Getting on.
10% run. I
Never
don't want to
surrender.
run at 10%. I'm gonna do it. I know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna test the ability again. I know it's gonna happen. I already know the outcome, but I just want to check. I just want to check. Okay, we're just testing things. What's up, Joker Gaming? Hope you're doing well. Okay, please. Cool. I'm not even gonna be able to test the ability, am I? I'm just gonna bleed to death here. Yeah, dang it. Okay. Oh, no, there we go. Come on, get it off in time.
We will never yield.
Oh, I think it's gonna run out first. Yeah, it ran out first. Never mind. An audible voice. Did they add an achievement because they added the audio?
Leave the rest to
I
me.
think they did.
Look
That
out.
looks valuable.
The
That's funny.
binding of wills. Strike at this abomination.
I love that all of this is part of this.
Back in
Titan
fighting
should
condition.
recover from
Joker, you been
that.
testing out some of the beta stuff, or you just chilling? So far, I don't mind the mechanics of Paragon. I feel like the motivation is more difficult to keep up than I would anticipate. But, oh, you're new to the game. Well, hope you're enjoying your time. How long you been playing the game? Oh, 400 hours. Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's a decent chunk of hours, but let's see what other events we have going on. We missed Shadow Behemoth. We'll go do Golem Mark II. That's what we'll do. That'll give me some time to read some abilities and play around with some landscape mobs as well. Give me some time indeed.
How wonderful to see you.
What profession do you like the most so far? Okay. So brace yourselves is solid. I don't know. I do like all of these. Just started with Thief. Nice. Bought Soto and Janthier. Will complete those and work my way to the legendary. Very nice. Heck yeah, dude. Hopefully you're all caught up and ready by time Visions of Eternity comes out in what is it, about 2 months now, more or less? I think it launches late October, so a good amount of time. Thief is really fun. Thief was like my second character that I ever made. I have a lot of fun with Deadeye in particular. Not sure what elite specs you've played so far. Yeah, I think we need to keep Never Surrender. Do I have any synergy traits with Echoes? Okay, so I'm going to switch to Feverish Pulse to give Alacrity, because I really should be giving Alacrity.
Now you're mine.
I don't think there's any purpose to having chance other than the fact that, or commands. Actually, no, they don't even add specific motivation, do they? No, they don't. Okay. How do I unlock Spear? So there is, when you get into Janthier Wilds, there's a little bit of story to get to the point, but it's like the first mastery that you can get when you go into Janthier Wilds. It's one of the first ones. In the Lowland Coden track. So once you get into Janthier, you can make sure to get that thing going. I can't remember if you need to get to that story chapter first before you can set it. I don't think you do. But if you don't have it unlocked as soon as you step into Janthier, then I would just progress the story. There will be a very obvious point where they're basically telling you to get the spear. So since I don't need commands. So let's compare this to like, oh yeah, and there's another command that I haven't even looked at. Damage and cripple enemies around you. Okay. And then it'll apply a weakness after the echo. I also did not notice that the echoes trigger either after a set interval or after you use a burst skill. The question is then, okay, first of all, what does it look like when I have an echo on me?
Find their weakness.
Nothing. There's no indication. Maybe it's that sparkly stuff? Nope, it just triggers. Okay. So the question is, can you trigger multiple echoes, or is there only the one echo and it is either triggered after time or, oh no, I need, okay, so we're going to use that. That echo hits. Okay, just the one echo. So, oh, I'm glad you liked the 30-day profession series. Yeah, so I've got I'm redoing right now Mesmer and Guardian, because both of those I only played one elite spec during the month. So I'm in the middle of Mesmer for a month. I'm taking a break for this week for the elite spec beta, because I don't want to miss out on that. And then, so those are ideally going to come out before the expansion. And then once the expansion hits, I'm going to do like a week in each elite spec, I think. Because essentially the way it's worked out is I get a week for each elite spec plus the core specialization. So I figured just a week on the new elite spec, sharing my thoughts that way, be a fair play. Never tried Mesmer. Mesmer's fun. I definitely feel like it's not the perfect class for me, or the perfect profession rather. But I haven't really gotten to Virtuoso. I'm about to start Virtuoso, and that one is a lot like you replace your clones for knives that generate, so the management system there is a little bit different.
Come here.
Okay, yeah, so I was going to look at... So that's a stun break with... Oh, I just noticed that the cooldown of the skill is... Oh, it's increased if you use it to break a stun. So it would go to 30 seconds if you break a stun. Balance stance is a 25-second. Where's Doliak Signet? There you are. Doliak Signet's a 25-second. So that's a little rough. Ranger, Mesmer, and Revenant. I love Ranger. Ranger is probably my second place profession right now. Untamed is so much fun. I've been having fun with Soul Beast too. It's a really good time. Revenant's one of those I didn't really get the hang of. That was really early in my challenge series where I was much worse at making builds. I'm not really great at it now, but I'm better than I was then. And it never clicked for me. And then Mesmer, yeah, Mesmer's interesting. I will say each elite spec for Mesmer plays very similarly. That's one of the things that I kind of don't love about Mesmer is, like, they're all still based around clones and shatters, which makes sense because it is the specialization's main mechanic. But, like, I just feel like when you compare it to certain other professions, like engineer, you've got Hollowsmith, and that's so different compared to Scrapper and their function gyros. And Mesmer can very much just feel like different ways the clones interact with things and give you or people buffs. But anyway. Yeah, so, I mean, Never Surrender's not bad. I wish it didn't have that cooldown increase, but the big thing that is rough about this is you do get... actually, let me hit this real quick. So you get the initial 6.5 seconds.
Nothing to fear.
You don't get the second boost of it. So you only get the 6 3/4 seconds.
Prepare for toxic waste evacuation. T minus 3 minutes.
Incoming condition damage reduced by 33%. Non-damaging conditions are ineffective. But then we compare that with, like, Doliak Signet, and you just flat reduce 10% incoming damage. It breaks a stun and gives you 10 stacks of stability and heals you.
Kill them all.
So I think Never Surrender is kind of not great. Find their weakness. So we get vulnerability, and then we apply might based on the amount of enemies struck. So we do damage, vulnerability, and then give might to people.
Find their weakness.
So if we compare that to On My Mark, range on My Mark is obviously much longer, so more ideal for PvP. You can get 2 of them, so you can double up 15 vulnerability. It is for a much shorter duration, though. So I think that's not really a one is better than the other flat out. I think more or less On My Mark's better for PvP because the revealed condition. Do we have anything else that gives vulnerability? I don't think we do. No, we don't. Do I have a Discord server or anything that I recommend? I don't have a Discord server that I really particularly recommend for new people specifically. If you're interested in getting into end game raiding content, the Skane Gang is a really big Discord where they do like raids and strikes and stuff like that, and can be a great place for getting into groups like that. but overall, I don't have a Discord server like that. There are a lot of good guilds out there that have some pretty good Discord servers. So maybe just paying attention to world chat, you know, map chat from time to time and seeing if there's any advertising out there. I don't know. Let me look. It's actually been so long since I went to the forums. I almost never go to the Guild Wars 2 forums. Page not found. Okay, so we're having some issues today, are we, Guild Wars? There we go.
Beginning evacuation
There is
protocol.
a
System is warming
there is
up.
a looking for guild forum section. And some of these guilds have like that thread has like 44,500 views with hundreds of replies. So you can maybe go to the Guild Wars 2 forums on the main page and look through the looking for guild, because you know, I was just talking about this with Bozo on his stream last night. The great thing about Discords is that they've enabled some really great stuff outside of game, allowing for better communication and everything. But the flip side is, like you said, map chat and guild chats can get a little bit dead because everybody's kind of getting into their microcosms on Discords, right? So I would maybe poke at the looking for guild if map chat's a little dead. Otherwise, you know, that's a good. I should probably look for some resources like that for people, because I'm sure there's probably a lot of people in the same situation as you who are looking to get with some people. So I may take a look at getting some resources compiled for something like that. I can't answer that question today still, so I would still definitely look at the looking for guild forum page, but I think I'm gonna look into that.
Find their weakness.
Why would they not?
Find their weakness.
People more active on chat on NA. That's interesting.
That's the
I feel like EU has a pretty thriving population. I'm surprised that they're not. And you're playing during the busy times for EU, I would imagine, because most people's schedules tends to line up with the busy times for their selected server.
attacking enemy targets.
Yeah, we're keeping motivation up here. I think what I need to do is just do a better job of balancing not blowing all of the skills at once, right? Like once we get to 8, let's hit another chant. Let's do this dance. We're at 7, we hit that, right? You know. We're down to 8, so we hit that. Yeah. Just takes a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a dance of keeping that up, which is totally fine. We got a little bit of time before anything really pops off, so let's go back to LA. Let's go to the aerodrome and just mess around with some stuff. I definitely get the point of staff for a build like this, but man, these spam calls are awful. Definitely get the point of staff for like a support build like this, but play around with some different weapons. Do I have 100% map on all characters? No, absolutely not. No way, no how. I think I've finished 100% map exploration on 4 characters at this point. No. That's one thing I'm going to have to be buckling down and taking care of for my legendary challenges. I've got a lot more map exploration. Yeah, you get gifts of exploration when you finish up, when you do the map exploration, which are needed for legendary items. Okay, so where are my... Wow, that was so many more things than I was expecting. Okay. Where is my... Do I have... There we go, weapons. Is it reusable or gets consumed one time? It is a one-time use, and you get 2 of them every time you do map exploration. Okay, so rather than staff, or actually rather than spear, what do we want to try? I mean, if we just go, like, if we just go axe. Axe is always a pretty solid DPS. Guess I would like to soulbind it, thank you. And then Relic of the Flock is okay, yeah. Then we're going to... Let's just replace with heavy legendary armor here. Pardon my character's ugliness, my fashion-forward friends, but I'm not committing to fashion on a beta character. Please forgive me. Okay, boon duration would be pretty good. Traveler's not necessarily the best, though. Is this like all of the runes? I feel like it's probably not all of the runes, but whatever. Not condition damage. Superior Rune of Water may be good. Since this is probably going to be a lot of healing overall. I mean, we have Chant of Recuperation. We've got Brace Yourselves for Barrier. We've got probably the use of Staff, so water would probably be a good move overall. Monk is... What is Monk compared to water? So that's 25 plus 50 plus 100, and then plus 25% boon duration. Monk is plus 15% boon duration, more healing. Yeah, I would definitely go water over that. Like, the healing's nice, but considering we also give alacrity and some other things, I think more boon duration is better than less boon duration. So yeah, we'll go water. Yeah, doing map completion side by side with the storyline is definitely a really good way to do it. The story takes you to a lot of places, so it's gonna naturally get you out there doing it, and then you can just plug away at the whatever's left. I completely missed gloves. What else did I miss? Oh, the helmet. There we go. And of course, we got to give it to the aqua breather. Okay. And then what stat set? Diviner's PPF with concentration. Can I just search like healing? I can. Okay. You know, Celestial's always a classic. Could actually be pretty solid with this, honestly. Definitely not clerics. Harriers, maybe. We don't really have any crits, so we don't really need precision. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely like I'd say maybe Harriers. Or maybe Celestial. I'm a sucker for going Celestial, but power, healing power, and concentration are really the key ones that we need. The toughness and vitality is nice. You know what, we'll just go Celestial because I'm a sucker for Celestial. Why be really good at one thing when you can be mediocre at everything? That's how I live my life. I love how all music has stopped, by the way. Very, very cool. Thanks, Guild Wars, too. Oh, yeah, and then we want a different staff. We'll just use Bifrost. Celestial. All right, and then we need runes. Or sigils. So many sigils. Band duration's pretty solid. Probably going... I would probably say boon sigil concentration, especially on staff, right? Maybe just slap it on both. Sigil of water could be helpful. We don't have a ton of... We don't have like crazy crit chance, but it's something. Man, I remember people loved the stacking, like max 25 stacks for like Sigil of Corruption and stuff like that. That was all the rage back in the day. I don't think like anybody really uses those anymore. I could be wrong, but I feel like I never see it. I feel like we've gotten better sigils, so there's that. So I haven't tried all the new professions yet. This last hour that I've been live is the most I've played any of the new professions, and I've been terrible about keeping up with the live streams and everything. I just haven't had the time. Just based on like looking at the blog posts and everything. I mean, I'm a warrior main, so I'm kind of biased, even though I know a lot of people aren't the most excited about... Oh, transference. There we go. Healing to other allies is increased. Perfect. A lot of people aren't the most excited about the execution of Paragon. I do like the concept of Paragon because I feel like warriors needed a better, you know, a more dedicated support thing for quite a while. Amalgam looks really, really cool. Really like the look of Amalgam. The Evoker seems really cool, and I like the idea of a little bit, you know, possibly a little bit less element swapping for Elementalist. So I think there's... Plus, I really like Gale Shot, too. I'm excited to try Gale Shot out. So if I had to pick, like, just based on straight excitement over them, I would probably say it's Gale Shot, Amalgam. I'm trying to think of... I know there's some others that I like most of them, honestly. I'm just trying to think of like my number 3 here. I'm distracting myself from what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see how straightforward it is to keep motivation up. Like how viable is this in a pretty straightforward rotation here?
Make them flee.
Okay, interesting. So, cool thing about Staff 5 is that it triggers twice because there's a 2-part to it. Yeah, this isn't really bad.
Forge the way.
Definitely just a... was not accustomed enough to it during the meta events to be really maximizing it. Because now we... Wait, did I just lose a bunch of motivation swapping weapons? Or is there like a stack that I don't see somewhere here? Because I feel like I lost a ton at once. No, you don't lose it for swapping weapons, so... I guess it just sometimes vanishes? Oh no, the cost per interval. I see. That's what I was missing. Chant of Recuperation costs much more. As does Chant of Freedom. Interesting. Oh, how do I get to where I'm at? This is in Lion's Arch, and I've done what I came here to do. So, let me head outside. I'll show you where it's at. Probably gonna run one. Wow, voice crack. I love being 30. Probably gonna run 1 or 2 meta events and then call it. So if you come to Fort Mariner, it's in the southern area here. There's a couple of portals here. There's a raid lobby, and then next to it is the Special Forces training area. That's the portal you want to go into, is the Special Forces training area. That'll let you spawn in golems. You can do all sorts of different buffs. If you ever hear players talking about like benchmarks when they're talking about raids and strikes and stuff like that, that's more or less how you benchmark. Is you go in there, typically I'm pretty sure you turn on all the buffs, and then you just go to town. And it didn't come up in the chat because I didn't defeat the golem. But if you defeat the golem, it should tell you like your damage per second, or I think maybe it does it every minute or something. I'm not sure. I can't recall. I really don't do it very often. Okay, so what do we have that we can go do? This is that awkward time, huh? Well, we can go do Chalk Garant. We'll just go early. I'll go tackle one of the hero points around there. See if I can solo it. Oh, and then I can see if I can solo Frog. That's a real test. If we can solo Frog, we're in good hands. Man, this is crazy. Yeah, so the play's definitely going to be swapping refrains consistently to keep alacrity up for sure. That's the and I guess it works out. But now that I think about it, how long does my alacrity last now that I'm in Celestial? Now that I'm in Celestial, lasts 8.25 seconds. Yeah, I think that should be relatively consistent uptime. That was another thing I definitely could have and should have tested when I was in the
Find their weakness.
boom. Alright, we chant and we swap. Cool, I don't think anybody's helping me with this right now, so this is perfect. And we swap. And we swap. And we're swapping again.
Find their weakness.
Yeah. Unless somebody else was giving me alacrity, that was pretty easy to keep 100% uptime on alacrity with Celestial there. So that's good. It's an interesting dynamic though when you think about it, because it kind of encourages, because of the continual refrain, right? It kind of encourages camping out in a refrain, ideally. And I suppose you can make the argument that there's two different ways to play it, right? Because you've got the alacrity way, where you're granting alacrity every time you swap refrains. So you want to be swapping refrains quickly, and you're focusing on the activation burst to apply the boons around you and which I would really love a little bit more of a clear breakdown on this now that I'm looking at it. Because it says grants barrier to allies in an area around you, right? And then it lists the refrain and then all of the effects, which I think are for the refrain because it's giving the motivation cost per interval. Oh, is the thing at the very bottom there? No. No, it's not. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. That's one of the most confusing ways they could have done that. Okay. All right. So, I mean, yeah, I guess so. There's the focusing on the immediate chant type build where we're running Feverish Pulse. And then I suppose an argument could be made for running Enduring Refrain, and that's going to reduce the costs of the motivations. It doesn't increase the healing from Invigorating Tempo, which is interesting. It doesn't reduce, or it doesn't change that. I guess maybe they did internal testing and it was too powerful. So without that, it's 2, 2, and 3. And then this is supposed to reduce the motivation cost, but it still says 2, 2, and 3. ANET? Explain? Okay, let's look at this one. This is 1, 2, and 3. What is it without it? 1, 2, and 3. Well, does it reduce it or not? Does it change the motivation cost to 1? Is that what that means? Why wouldn't the tooltip update? I mean, I guess it's a beta. It's a beta, so that's why the tooltip wouldn't update, obviously, but that's interesting. Let me try it out on this guy since somebody else spawned it. All right, we're gonna... Okay, we hit that. We're at 9, 8, 7... 6, 5. Nope, it's costing... Okay, so it reduces the cost by 1. It reduces the listed cost by 1. If it's higher than 1. Interesting. Okay. I feel like it's pretty straightforward to keep your motivation up using that. To a point that you could reliably camp out in Chant of Recuperation here and just continually heal people. That's every 3 seconds a 1500 heal. I mean, that's not bad. I don't know how that really compares because I don't do a lot of healing. I don't know how that really compares to some other active healers out there as far as the types of things they can do. But when we couple that with the fact that every minimum 13 seconds you can reduce that time. Well, no, you can't reduce that time actually, can you? You can pop another barrier. That is pretty nice. And then we do also have brace yourselves for a barrier and echo barrier. So there's a decent amount of barrier and healing on this. Couple it with staff, and I think there's definitely a strong possibility of heal Paragon here. Man, how awful would it be if I got Chalk Infusion? I think I might quit the game if I got Chalk Infusion on my beta character, by the way. Like, that would be like the most frustrating thing ever. Yeah, so we're gonna do chalk Garant here. We're gonna play around with enduring refrain, and then I want to go try soloing frog. I feel like soloing frog is a interesting test to see how survivable the build is. And then I'm probably going to go shopping because I'm starving and I don't have food. I pushed it to the limit because it was a horrible thunderstorm yesterday and I did not want to go out in a thunderstorm. Not about that life. Let me reevaluate this. So, I mean, the motivation when you enter combat is pretty nice. How much does that affect? Did that just like add actually nothing to my alacrity? Is there like a hard cap on concentration? Hold on. Oh, 63.33%. 67.33%. Yeah, see, I don't think calming tongue is remotely worth it. I could be wrong. Well, 63 to, what did I say, 67? Okay, so 4% increase, and then there's another 4% increase when a refrain is active, and the goal is to have refrains active. I'm going to guess 100% uptime. Looking forward to the math people telling me what I should actually look for once they crunch all the numbers, once these go live. You fancy math people. So I guess an 8% increase to overall boon duration is pretty decent. Does it outweigh immediately starting with Chant of Action and 4 motivation, though? The second you go into combat, you start generating might and fury. I don't know. Let's see how hard it is. Let's see how it feels to get maximum motivation without that. Let's do that. So we're just gonna... That's right. The skills only give you motivation when you've done a chant. Well, this isn't really a good test because there's not enough for me to poke, but whatever. We'll wait until Gary spawns. Shocker rushing the cannon. Well, I'm glad I showed up, huh? You guys murked all of them already. What am I gonna get, bronze? Oh no, I got gold. Okay. It's so worry over. It's so worry over. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let's see if I can get max motivation. Okay. Yeah, it's not terrible to get max motivation without that trait, so could be worth. I still just don't know how effective an 8% bump is. Take it easy, Joker. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Enjoy the game. Can you not roll away from me the second I come into combat? Thank you. Right, we've got burst skills to also do that. Alright, so here's the plan. Let's try and stay above 7 motivation the entire time without leaving F3. Alright, I already dipped below 7. Guys, we're cooked. It's not that easy to... I mean, you can keep pretty darn close, to be fair. I don't really think dipping to 6 for a split second is the end of the world while you're in the middle of a spin to win here. That didn't work. Let me go back up. First, and then do that. I just interrupted my spin. Oh my god. Okay, that's good to know. Commands interrupt spins. Commands are not shouts. I'm gonna reconfirm that. Kind of weird that ANET shoehorned. Yeah, I mean, I'm very mixed on it because here's the thing. I have thought that Warrior... I've been wanting more of a support option on Warrior for ages. But the lack of all DPS traits is interesting, right? It's like only healer. Because I feel like most supports that I've, like, the support elite lines that I've looked at always have some kind of DPS option there. Even if it's not great, it's still there. So it's pretty interesting. Like, the only real DPS trait that you could argue, and it's a big argue, would be strengthening stances, because when you're in Chant of Action, you get plus 20% damage or condition damage, right? So, like, technically, that is the most DPS trait, but it's still not really a DPS trait. It's really not. Okay. Somebody is currently on Frog. Well, I'll just go. They just started. Actually, wait. Are you soloing? Are you? Is this intentional solo? I don't know. If it's intentional solo, I don't want to get in the way. Well, I don't think it is. Does he have a? Can you see beta tags? Yeah, you can see beta tags. You know what, I'm gonna go help. Hi, how are you? How you doing? Oh, he died. That's okay. I showed up literally too late. That's fine. All right. Let's see how we can hold up, and it's gonna be a bit. Whoa. Okay. It's gonna be a bit skewed because we have people here, but something is better than nothing. Hello. Thank you, Staff Charge. I appreciate that. Great. Let's try this again. With 100% less fallen, please. Skill issue for sure. Retap F3. Okay, so we're at 10 motivation. Interesting to note that doing anything that gives you motivation does not re-up your motivation tab. It literally only adds. So if you're at motivation, there's 0 point. I mean, yeah, this was not the test I was looking for at all because everybody showed up. I guess everybody wanted to solo Frog, which I mean that makes sense. Frog is infamous. Let me try going to there's a golem way up in the sky that I doubt anybody else is going to want to bother going to. It's nowhere near as hard as Frog, but going the right way. Yeah, it's over here. I'm just way up. Okay. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. I was so wrong. Chat, we're so cooked. Everybody and their brothers working on Heart of Thorns hero points. I mean, you know, fair play. Fair play. Okay. Got an idea. I'm for sure gonna die. But the Balthazar hero point. I guarantee nobody's at the Balthazar hero point. I don't even do this hero point when I need hero points. Let's see. Oh, it's over here. Shows you how often I come over here. I can't wait to see the Lord Heisen video of him just like soloing a raid with this, like with some build, by the way, that's imbalanced. Really looking forward to that. I'm sure it's coming. No. Oh, wait, this isn't the right one anyway. I went way the wrong direction. Oh my god. No wonder somebody was there. Oh, that pathway is like closed up. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Nobody here but us trees. Didn't mean that literally, but thanks, Guild Wars. Just shoving trees in my face. Okay, now somebody's triggered it, but I don't think anybody's fighting it. Oh my gosh, get up there. Nope, nobody's fighting it. Cool. Ooh, okay. Starting off hot, aren't we? See, and then the other advantage we have here is we have a lot of fire on the ground. That's not an advantage. That's really problematic, actually. What I was going to say is another advantage we have here is we do have the elite skill that keeps us from going below 0 hit points. So we do have a pretty solid panic button here. I am not doing well. This is not going well. The fire is just so much, dude. Rude. We're gonna go ahead and hit a heal here. I mean, the sustain is for sure here. Even with my absolutely horrible gameplay, the sustain is here. Oh, I was gonna say. Not gonna overpush that. I mean, it's gonna be a slow fight, but
All together. Brace yourselves. Adrenaline full.
I just bring some DPS signets, right? Somebody's got to bring the DPS. I mean, the sheer fact that I am able to just stand here and smash buttons and we're just good, I think is a pretty solid sign, but does that make it the most engaging gameplay? No, but, you know, could be really good for low-intensity survivability builds, you know, for those who aren't the most skilled at the game, for sure. I could see that being a thing to explore. We just brought ourselves back up from a pretty low hit point pool there, so...
Find their weakness.
Ooh, I didn't see that coming. Okay. We cooked too hard. Okay. That's, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. You know, these things happen. Well, I mean, all things considered, like I enjoy it as a support build. It seems like it's going to be pretty solid. It's a little awkward at sometimes, honestly, balancing the motivation and stuff. And I just don't know, mostly because I don't do endgame high-end rating content. I don't know that it's going to stack up compared to other supports. But having the possibility of an alacrity healer on warrior is exciting to me personally. And something that, I mean, based on that, is pretty doggone survivable for solo play. If it's not the fastest DPS, it's at least survivable, right? And some people out there really need those survivability builds, myself included. Sometimes still got it better than Luminary. Good but painfully boring. Yeah, I haven't tried Luminary. I'm probably going to over the next week or so. I don't know that I'm gonna stream it. It looked like, I loved the concept of it, but yeah, it sounds like it's kind of not the greatest, unfortunately. But yeah, cool. Well, thanks for those of you hanging out. Appreciate it. It was a good time chatting with you. I'm gonna go get food because I'm starving, and I'll see you guys next time.